What's up, queens? You're listening to Black Queens Uncut. Grab your wine, your vape, and anything that relaxes you because we're about to have some queen chat. Today is about hashtag body shaming. I'm Monique Lovelace.
It's your girl, Kiki Boom Boom. Sorry, I was looking at Hinge. It's your girl, Kiki Boom Boom. What's poppin'?
Hey, y'all. It's Miss...
Okay, sorry.
We are actively on Hinge as we speak, y'all. It's Miss Candy Marie.
It's TK Trinidad.
Okay, and today...
His jaw too big. He had a big jaw.
That's my favorite thing to do on Hinge
Let
is
me
to press the
see.
X.
Well,
other
meanwhile, the
things.
topic today is body shaming.
Shout out to he's cute.
So technically, are we body shaming him?
Queens, let us know if you guys on the dating app.
Yes, you are body shaming him. Give him a chance.
We're not body shaming him. Okay, today is about a real topic. Is hashtag body shaming, which is a big thing.
That's an X for me.
I think that it was like a couple of months ago where Julia Michaels had that whole thing where she was talking about Lizzo and how she was kind of body shaming her. How do y'all feel about societal pressures and looking at especially Black women in a certain light as far as like our body types?
I was a fan of Jillian Michaels. I'm not necessarily a fan of hers because of what happened, but just she's done different things. But I was a fan of hers when she was on Biggest Loser, and I was really into fitness, and I understand where she's coming from to an extent. However, you have to look at the individual person. So for me, you know, when I transferred from a JC to Oregon, the lady told me, I need to eat this and this and that, and I ended up gaining 20 pounds while I was running track. And she just gave me a blanket diet versus actually understanding me, the way my body's made up, all that extra stuff. So with Jillian, I think she just made a huge mistake targeting Lizzo and not necessarily knowing that this woman, if you've seen her perform, she's definitely not in shape.
Right.
That's to perform, dance, sing, do all, and then add a flute into that mess. That's not somebody who is not in shape.
Right.
Facts. You're absolutely. I think she
Right.
looked at her size and just assumed she wasn't in shape. You know, speaking of someone who's been big their whole life, I came out the womb chubby. I was fat. And I use that word in a positive way. I've been big my whole life if you look at my pictures. But I will say my great-grandmother and mother did a really good job with me. Really good job with my confidence. And that's why my confidence is the way it is today, where they just always reminded me of how beautiful and chubby and gorgeous and amazing that I was. So I never felt the pressure. And then I started to get older, of course, and meeting friends and going to school, and then going to a predominantly white school and feeling that pressure. And then you start dating and then working in the entertainment business like we all do and being in front of the camera. So, you know, society can be really tough. And I've definitely felt that because I don't look a certain way, especially out here in LA, especially to be on camera. I don't present myself in the way that they think that I should. But I will say someone like Lizzo has definitely made me feel so good about myself. Like, I've always felt good about myself, and then I went through a slump. But she has really, really... Like, first it was Takara from America's Next Top Model. And she's not big. She just had big boobs. But Lizzo really made me feel good about myself. And I don't know if you guys remember when I went to Mexico and I posted a photo of me in a bathing suit. And I would have never done that. Like, I don't even wear shorts. I don't like to show my body. But she just made me feel good, fam. Like, this is who I am. Fuck it if you don't like it. I got this fupa. I say I want to lose weight, but I'm not trying to be skinny. And I'm happy with these thighs. But I'm going to work on what I'm going to work on what I want to do. But I just feel good about myself. So society can make it hard for a lot of people. So, you know.
Right. I definitely feel like what Julia Michaels was saying is correct, but how she said it was not correct. So I feel like that she definitely needed to be checked on. Because aiming it, like you said, aiming it at Lizzo is, I mean, she's not the only bigger person in the industry that, and like you said, her being up on stage, singing, doing the flute, dancing, that's a lot. I can barely sing Beyonce and dance in my own house. Like, I get super tired. So she has to be in some type of shape, and I'm pretty sure that she has enough money that her doctor will let her know that if she needs anything across the board. So her, like, really putting her name out there, I feel like she definitely needed to be checked on that one. Like, no ma'am. So, but do I feel like there's pressures? Yes. I feel like I said, once again, down south, we're a hot commodity. Like me and Kiki Boo Boom are a hot commodity. Even TK, you're a hot commodity in the South.
Dude,
we're thick. Even me, they would be like, you're kind of skinny. They would tell me as a thick girl, like, oh, you're too skinny. So I don't feel like in certain regions there's pressures, but I definitely feel like being in the entertainment industry and being here in LA, there are some pressures. And it does, sometimes you got to look in the mirror and remind yourself like who you are, because it can get to you. I always be like, oh, like I got a little fupa, and I be like, oh, I gotta lose this. I gotta get skinny. I gotta, get that, what is the waist cincher and all this stuff. And I'm like, girl, no, I just want to sit here and eat these cookies right now. Like, that's what I want to do. I mean, I don't feel like I'm like super unhealthy. I definitely feel like there are probably some things that I can get on track as far as like working out and stuff like that. But sometimes I do feel the pressure, so.
It's interesting. My story is a little bit interesting, being a former athlete and seeing like stuff that some people are trying to achieve. I've been there, done that, have pictures, and it's just like my screensaver is a picture of me when I was like, so it's hard.
It is, and I can't stand that.
You can't stand my picture?
No.
Can I see it?
I want to see.
I love my
I mean,
picture.
she looks good, but I hate when people have their screensavers as themselves.
You always be.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, sis.
So, I mean, it's a good picture.
Well,
Anywho,
can you send that?
look at Josh.
Josh is like, can you send that to me?
I can, and many more. Well, how you want it? I have different angles. So being a former athlete it's definitely I'm always, I don't necessarily let outside people tell me, but I'm always putting pressure on myself. And being an athlete, I was training 6 hours a day. Being in this adulting world, and I'm not an athlete, I don't have the time to train 6 hours a day.
But you train a lot.
I train.
You go to like 2 gyms a day.
I get.
So I'm barely making it to the floor.
Well, no. Let's be honest. I am definitely doing more than what the average population is doing, but I'm not doing what I think I should be doing.
Is you trying to call me average? Y'all, queen. She tried to call me average.
You like to sit on the couch and eat cookies. That's majority of the population likes to sit on the couch and eat cookies. No shade. There's a lot of people who don't do anything. You do stuff. You do actively eat properly, and you've lost weight, all this other stuff. But the people who say that they want to lose weight and they never do it. No shade. You could live your best life. However, for me, not to not work out, that has never been my life. If I go 2 or 3 days, it's like it has to do with work. But me just going 2 or 3 days and I have time, it just doesn't happen. That doesn't register with my psyche. That's part of my lifestyle.
So do you feel pressured though? You like to work out, but do you feel pressured by society to look a certain way?
I feel pressured by myself.
Okay.
Because like I said, I've been to the mountaintop, so I know like what I could look like. I know what I should look like. I know all this other stuff. But again, you have so many different factors. But I do like working out. One, especially working out in Los Angeles, the networking is crazy. So that's one of the reasons why I work out.
This is how she meets all these men.
Well, I mean,
We
men
ain't working out, clearly.
I mean, men and women. Like, I met Lizzo's backup dancer. I met Lizzo's backup dancer. I met Jan Jackson's backup dancer. I've met an amazing amount of people through fitness. And it's not necessarily with the whole fitness to put a button on it. It's not necessarily you have to go to the gym, but just find something that you love to do. For me, I just love to push my body to the limit. I just don't have time. My biggest thing when I was, I think 2 years ago on my birthday, I treated myself. I went to, actually, somebody else treated me, but I went to this really nice hotel and I spent the day, I spent a couple hours in the gym just working out and listening to music. And that was the best thing ever to me. I wasn't thinking about what was going to happen the next day because I was off. I wasn't thinking about any other things. And that's just my lifestyle. But amongst that, I just don't have the time to do the training that I want to do. So I just try to get something in.
Candy, do you feel any pressure, society?
Why you say it to me like that?
No, because I was going to ask Candy, because Candy talked about like being home and people would be, because I have a lot of thin friends who get body shamed as well. No, in general, I have skinny friends who get body shamed. So I would like to know from like your point of view, like what's that like?
Girl point
From
of
the
view,
skinny girl point of view.
Okay. No, actually, I have struggled to gain weight. And I know y'all are like, oh, woe is me. But seriously, no, that's really a thing.
She said
No, it is a thing. I believe
I know
you.
she
No,
did a
but,
thing.
but it's really a thing. Like, especially growing up in the South, like, and then just being Black women, we're just naturally curvy people. You know, so growing up in the South, like I said, and this is so interesting to say, and if my friend Antonia is listening to this, she will tell you, like, I was a cheerleader and I was the skinniest like cheerleader. All the other girls going to a Black school had curves. So just imagine getting overlooked, and I had acne really bad, getting overlooked because you're the skinny girl, light-skinned girl, the lightest out of everybody else, and it's a Black school. So my red acne is like popping out to the world, and I have no booty and no breasts. Literally. So just think about it. I think we always want what we don't have.
Yeah.
So one of my goals was always, I wish I had boobies, or I wish I had more booty. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I think as skinny girls, we try to overcompensate and eat more. And I think that this is also how, you know, people have, you know, anorexia and they become bulimic because everybody wants what they don't have, or they look on the television and the society is telling us we're supposed to look like this when half of those people don't even look like that. You know, so for me, even to the, like, I take protein every day and it don't have work. So like I'm trying to, like, and all my friends will tell you, I've been trying to get grown woman curves for forever. And it's like, whatever I do, it don't work.
I have a friend like that, literally. She's been the same size since she was 14. She's a size 0. She has a son who's 10 years old, and she's like, I don't understand why I cannot gain weight.
Dude, and that's seriously a thing. Like, I want to look nice and sexy and be like, I'm tired of being called cute. I want to be sexy, damn it. Don't call me cute. I'm a grown ass woman.
You sexy, baby.
But like, when I say that, I really do mean it. Like, I am tired of being called, oh, you're so cute. No, bitch, I'm grown.
Right.
Like, and so I think it's just to each its own. So it's like, man, we all have different struggles, you know. I love Lizzo. I think Lizzo is phenomenal. I think she's great for the culture. I think she's great for Black women that are curvy because, again, we've seen this European standard of beauty for so long where a woman doesn't have any curves and she's just, you know, a tall, skinny stick figure.
And those are the scales they have. The scale matches the European woman because I went to the gym and did a personal training thing one time. And it was a Black guy, and he got on scale, and he was like, "Oh, your body mass is kind."
The BMI.
He was like, "Your body mass is saying when you probably go to the doctor, they probably say you're like obese." And I said, "Yeah." He was like, "It's because of your butt and your boobs." And he was like, your butt." He was like, "I'm not trying to be vulgar." He was like, "At least weighs 10 pounds probably each cheek."
That's a fact.
I've always at a lot of this is the biggest I've ever been. Most of my life, I've been like a size 4 to 8. I fluctuate. So I've been between a size 4 and 8. And I've never been without a booty. Never. So that will never change. They need to change these scales as well. But go on as you're saying, because I just spoke.
No, I mean, so that's the thing. Like some people naturally have booty. Some people naturally have breasts. And again, it's genetics. Some people naturally have hips. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to naturally get one of those.
Baby. Listen,
that's my thing.
Being a curvy girl with hips but not having an ass, I have a flat ass, and most women in my family do not have butts. So being a curvy girl with boobs, people would assume like, oh, she gotta have a booty, and I'd be like, I don't. Like, I would be ashamed to like walk in front of guys or walk past guys and wear certain things, and that's why I'm naturally a tomboy. But that's why a lot of times I wore baggy clothes or like baggy jeans, or I would tie like flannels around my waist. And if I had a sundress on, because I'm like, I got a SpongeBob, but it's all right. Here we are.
Do y'all?
But I love how you're channeling it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Instead of beating yourself up.
Because
about
I'm at a place
Right.
in my life where
You love yourself.
I was like, yo, either you're going to fuck with me or you're not going to fuck with me. Because this is what I look like. Don't get me wrong. There's times where I tried to change. There was a point where I lost 50 pounds. And I've been a big girl my whole life. It didn't look right. My head was nodding over to the side because my neck wasn't supporting it. I was the skinniest I've ever been. I was down to a damn size 8. I've been a 12, 14 my whole life. So to get down to like an 8'6", my family thought I had an eating disorder. I'm like, nah, fam.
What's your head, dude?
My head was like, my head's big, so it couldn't support. So, but now I'm in this space where I'm like, yo, you gonna like me for me. You gonna get this stomach.
Right.
You can help me. Let's go hiking.
And the right man gonna love it.
Okay.
Every
Thank
bit of
you.
it.
Every bit of it. Every bit of it.
Yay.
Every bit of it. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. So, do y'all think that this is a double standard between men and women when it comes to body shaming?
Of course.
Absolutely.
I think it depends too, because you remember the whole dad bod, that thing. Well, that was considered sexy.
That's sexy.
I don't know, damn dad, but
The dad bod.
I don't want one.
You don't want a bear belly? Like the
nah.
No.
like a bear. Like not
Hell
a bear
no.
drinking bear, but a
My
bear.
father had one. That's why I
take
didn't
that
want.
back.
My daddy had one growing up, and I was like, ugh.
I'm
I
a
thought he was
lie
pregnant
because
all the time.
I'm a lie because when Rick Ross was big, I would have married him.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
then you would just
He
sweat
smells-
on your face.
No, he smells good. You can sweat on me. It's fine.
I know.
Okay.
I like when you
And
sweat.
it's dripping down
I like
as you're
it.
in the act.
Can we,
Yeah.
stop,
Okay.
can we
Yeah.
stop talking about sweat, please?
You can sweat on me. Okay. So no, I think
No
it's
respect.
definitely a double standard. Even if you just watch TV alone, where you have television shows where the husbands are frumpy and fat and
They got
not that
this
that's a
beautiful
bad
life.
thing, but normally the way TV pairs you, the wife has to look a certain way,
Right.
and women have to look a certain way. Have to. When they're a certain age, and I feel like men can get away with a lot more. Men can walk around with their damn dad bod with their shirts off. But God forbid there's a Lizzo and there's curvy girls and there's an Ashley Graham and or there's a thinner woman. You know what I'm saying? Because then there's thin women getting body shamed
Yeah,
for being
Carucci
too
was
skinny.
talking about
For
that.
Carucci. So, but a man can be really, really skinny and they be like, oh, he's fine. So I definitely think it's a double standard between men and women.
And then let's not forget that a lot of these bodies are fake these days.
Okay.
Okay, so we're over here killing ourselves trying to get booties and breasts. And like Drea, for example, I think she's a beautiful girl, but her booty fake. I love her booty, but it's fake.
It looks nice.
It looks great.
Let me tell you, I used to be very
Baby.
self-conscious because back when I was like in high school and stuff like that, it was a thing. Like I would get made fun of because I had bigger lips and my butt was always big. Always big. And I would get made fun of. Now you have people like the Kardashians or everybody who gets the booty shots and they're out and they have the fake booty. And people are like just
Glorifying.
glamorizing it. Yeah, and glorifying it. And I'm like, damn, like where was this a long time ago when I was like growing up?
Like Candy said, like everybody wants what they don't have. And I remember, like, because I know we're going to touch on this topic next, but even going to a school full of white girls who were a little thick, but to them, they thought they were fat. And I'd be like, damn, like.
Girl, you look good.
I was like, you
Right.
look great. And these were like some cheerleaders or girls who ran track who had great legs and great booties. And they would always be like, I'm fat. Where now there's people who were doing the things to look like black women, you know? And I do have a question for y'all. Is it just me? Do you guys feel like when it comes to dating, like especially like with black men, I'll speak for myself. I feel like as a big girl, I always felt the pressure from some black men, not all black men, but then I would see black men date like bigger white girls or bigger Hispanic girls or bigger like Middle Eastern girls. But when it came to black girls, it'd be like, no, you too big, you too fat. Is that just me? No, sorry.
No, I haven't experienced it, but I definitely know somebody who does.
Yeah.
I
It was just a question
specifically
because I know we're going to
know-
talk about the difference between white and black women coming up next. So I just thought about the girls in my school who just thought that they were fat and I thought they looked great. Where now women of different colors are now getting the things that like we now have.
Right.
But we are not, it's not looked at as a good thing for us. Our
Right.
lips, our boobs, our stomach, our hips, where other races it's looked at a good thing, if I'm saying that right.
Right. No, I definitely know somebody who does, and he likes bigger white women, but he won't date black women, and he's black.
Which is if that's what you
a
like. I'm just the
preference,
whole
yeah.
like the weight thing. I just found that interesting growing up where guys would be like, you're too big, but then they would date a curvy or even curvier girl than me who just wasn't black. So that's why I would be like, all right, that's interesting.
I don't know. My last or my second boyfriend, when I started gaining like grown woman weight, he was getting on me for my weight because we would work out together, et cetera, et cetera. So that was, and it actually did me a disservice because it wasn't like I was sitting on the couch, and it did me a disservice emotionally, which I think prevented me from actually losing the weight. So
What did he look like?
He was an actor. He was very good looking. He had a flat stomach. Like he looked good. He looked good for his age. So, you know, when we first met, I looked a certain way. I was playing football at the time, and then, you know, life happened. And, you know, we were still working out, but I was gaining weight. But I believe I was gaining weight because of the stress that he was putting on me on the emotional side of it. So that's where I felt, I guess I take it back. That's where I felt the outside pressure from somebody that I was intimate with. After that, as far as now in dating, if you like me, you like me. Like people are, I'm actually surprised because I've always been the athletic girl, the track girl. So if you spoke to me when I was running track, I'd be like, yeah, nah, like I'm always gonna be this size, and people like me. Now I'm heavier. It's amazing, but it's also enjoying that dudes just rock with me. Period.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I
it's
definitely
nice.
believe it's a double standard, though. I feel like it's with media. Media does all of that to us. Is just one of those things. So let me ask this. Do y'all feel like it's a double standard we just talked about this, between white women and black women
I think it could be. I think there's a double standard with everything.
when it comes to us?
I do-
Basically, when it comes to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I think some white women are trying to get the stuff that we have, but then it's like they do a lot of, some of them do a lot of different things to acquire this stuff, and then some of us have it naturally, and it's like we get penalized for that.
Prime example, the Kardashians compared to Blac Chyna and Nicki Minaj. Why is it that it's more accepted that the Kardashians got these fake booties and fake thighs and all these fake things, but I feel like Nicki Minaj and Blac Chyna were criticized way more?
Yes.
And I agree,
You are
because
absolutely right.
well, here's another example. Takara and Ashley Graham.
Yeah.
Takara should have been the Ashley Graham.
Takara ran so Ashley Graham could be
Absolutely.
where she is. And the Nikki
Jennifer
part,
Hudson.
Yes, because Nikki had that video on MTV and they were like, oh, it's too racy. And it was only because, and it was a beautiful video. I don't know if it was for Anaconda, but because, and she talked
Yeah.
about that. She's like, because I have a big butt and I'm curvy. And I feel like with us, it's like, oh, it's ghetto, it's ratchet. Their buns are too
Yes.
big, or it was.
Because no
We're
one
too
said
extra.
anything to
Yeah.
Adele, but Jennifer Hudson was just as great.
Yeah.
And she had to slim all the way down.
All the way down. Yeah.
And Adele is winning Grammys looking how she looks. And that's okay.
And she's considered to be the standard of what women really look like.
Yeah.
But again, we have to change that narrative. We have to
They're trying to say if
continue
it ain't
to
white, it ain't right.
Well, I think that's why we have to continue to have podcasts like Black Queens Uncut, so that we can let people know that this is what we naturally are, and we're not changing.
Yeah. And then also create our own lanes.
Yes.
Yeah,
And not-
definitely.
Not asking people. I think Charlamagne says this all the time. It's like, people want to get the Grammys. They want to get a Grammy, and that's the ultimate thing. And it's like, what's wrong with the Image World? What's wrong with BT Awards? What's wrong with us being celebrated by our own folks?
Simply the standard that we set. That's
Yeah.
the only
Yeah.
difference.
Right, because I love that, like, people like Beyonce don't show up to the Oscars, but then show up to NAACPs. Like, that was just a
That
statement.
part.
And the queen will throw
Again.
her own Oscar party.
She does. She
her and
does.
Hope throws Rock Nation brunch for the Grammys. They don't really go. Oscar parties. but
With
they
a
don't-
gold party.
Yeah.
They had a gold
Right.
party
Let's be
at
honest.
Chateau
Nobody wants to go
Marmont.
to those. Those
We
things are
create the
boring as hell.
culture.
We do.
We
We
also
do.
give respect to it. If we don't respect our culture, how can we expect anybody else to?
That's very
Facts.
true.
There
That's
have been
very true.
times where, there have been past BT Awards, and look, we don't all agree with how some of them are ran.
Yes.
And the quality. but they're
My face.
our award show.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're not showing up to our award shows, and I'm not going to call anybody out, but there have been instances where we have honored some of the biggest names in entertainment who also happen to be black, and we don't even show up and support it. You know what I'm saying? We have to start holding ourselves accountable. We got to start holding the fact that, okay, if this award show is trash, then look, if we have resources to make it better, why not bring those resources
Right.
in to make it better?
Absolutely. I felt like, for instance, the Image Awards, the NAACP Awards nominations came out, and they're honoring great people, great shows. The show that I worked on is actually nominated. But I feel like no one was talking about that. Everybody was talking and complaining about the Grammys and the Oscars. I'm like, here's the Image Awards that air February 22nd because my show's nominated. Check that out. But they're honoring black people, and this is ours. So retweet everything you guys said. Retweet everything you guys said. Retweet everything you guys said. Retweet everything you guys said.
Let's all give everybody some tips and tricks that they can do to maybe just feel more positive in their bodies, or maybe get to where they want to be. I feel like, TK, we should start with you since you're the sports health. Wellness.
Well, you have to, depending on first off, you have to, if you decide you want to look a certain way, you have to look first in the mental. First decide why you want to look like that. Because if you want to look like that for the wrong reasons, then it's not, then you shouldn't. You really need to start with that. And once you've decided that you want to do that for health or for whatever, then you explore different options as far as diet. There's a lot of different diets, but making it necessarily a lifestyle. And then finding something that you like to do. Like I have former clients of mine that as a family, after they finish eating, they would go for a walk. And that surprisingly does amazing things. So really just deciding on what you're going to do, being consistent on everything in life is so important in creating a habit. So if you don't like going to the gym, then don't go to the gym. Find something else that you want to do. And I find like Fitbits and all those watches, they're really, if you don't have an addictive personality, they're really, really good on seeing, your hours of sleep and stress tests and all this other stuff, on seeing how you are living on a daily basis. Because it could literally just be stress. And it could literally be, what you're eating. You might be eating 1,000 calories over, what you're supposed to be eating, and changing that could, change a lot of different things. So really the main thing, deciding what you want to do and the reason you want to do it.
Right.
Amen.
I just want everybody, all the queens that are listening out here, to know that, we don't all have it figured out. And I think sometimes when you see women on certain pedestals, you're like, oh my God, she's perfect, or she has this and she has that. But I'm going to reveal just a little bit. Aside from trying to gain weight, one of the biggest ways that I shame myself is my skin. I've struggled with my skin since I was 13 years old. And, sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh man, I wish my face was as smooth as such and such. And this is the first time I publicly talked about this. So that's how I know I'm starting to heal in that place. But one of the things that I've started to do more of is I started to really look at myself in the mirror, where I really just take some time. Sometimes I have a little, marijuana influence, and it helps. And I just sit in the mirror and I just look at my flaws, and I just find new ways to love those flaws. So, if you're out there and you're struggling with parts of your body, find ways to love it and then do what it takes to improve it.
Yes, amen. Retweet what these two ladies just said. Things that I do is just give myself words of affirmation, falling in love with myself all over again. I know I'm not going to be a size 2, and I'm okay with that. And just letting myself know that, like TK said, like touching in with my mental. And also, like Candy said, looking in the mirror and just literally loving myself. Like I struggled, y'all. Like I was really depressed, and I suffer from depression sometimes. And recently it was really hard, but lately, I don't know. I just woke up one day and was like, yo, I really fuck with you, Kiki. So I become really obsessed with myself lately. So I honestly will stand in my room naked and look in the mirror and just be like, girl, look at these rolls. Look at this ass. Like I post pictures I would have never posted. I'm doing things that I would have never done. So it's just really, like Candy says, that we all don't have it figured out. So just really loving yourself and finding those things. And it's okay to have a cookie. It's okay to eat how you want to eat. Right. The health part is important, but fuck what these people gotta say, man. Love yourself. And this is my turn, queen. to my fans.
Yes, eat
love
a couple
yourself,
cookies, not a lot.
So yeah, that's my message to the queens. Love yourself, and it's gonna be okay. And don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Yes.
You talk to your gym queens. I'll talk to my queens. Okay?
Not the whole roll. It's not healthy.
You can eat 2. You can eat 2. It's fine.
2's fine.
Don't forget, diabetes does run in the Black community.
That part.
Yeah, I'm not saying eat a whole cake.
There are vegan cookies.
There are. All I'm saying is don't put too much pressure on yourself. If you want to have a snack, it's okay to have a piece of something.
A snack,
because we
not
put
the
too
whole
much pressure
pie.
on ourselves.
Right, not the whole pie, like everybody said. I just want to throw in there, just mental wise, like you said, love yourself and make sure when you're doing stuff, do it for your health, not to lose weight or anything like that. Think about your health, because that is what is the longevity. So that's my little note on the last of this episode. Thank you, queens, for listening. And you can catch us on all social media platforms at Queens Uncut. If you have any questions that you want to hear on the podcast, make sure you email us at blackqueensuncut@gmail.com. And make sure you listen to all the rest of the episodes, catch up to this one, and we'll drop another one next Wednesday. So, queens, let them know where they can find you. Let me say it first, actually.
She's such a queen.
I am queen. I was going to say something else.
Head queen in charge.
I am Monique Loveless, and you can find me everywhere at It's Monique Loveless.
This is Kiki Boom Boom, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom.
Hey, queens, you know who this is. It's Miss Candy Marie, and you can find me on Instagram at Miss Candy Marie.
And best for last, you can find me on everything at TK Trinidad.
Actually, it wasn't. So thanks, queens. Bye.
It was. Ciao,
Bye.
ciao.
Okay.
Yay, you did it.